All right, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you're wearing a hat, could you remove it and please rise? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. It's a great crew of people out here. I don't know if we normally have this amount of people, but it's great to have everybody. A lot of people I've seen from the city that have done a lot of great things. We appreciate you. On behalf of the Lynn City Council, we'd like to welcome you and all my colleagues here. I'll tell you, I think in the last few years, if there's a testament to the relationship between this city council and the transparency with this mayor, being here tonight in this council chambers is it. We can't think of a time where a mayor has given a speech for the State of the City address from these chambers, as far back as we looked. So let that sink in for a second. There's been a lot of great things that we've done here together. We're going to continue to do them. And with that, I'd like to introduce the 59th mayor, correct, of the city of Lynn, Jared Nicholson.
Thank you, Council President Walsh, and thank you, councilors, for having us this evening, for being here. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to the school committee members, my colleagues on the school committee, legislators, Mayor McGee, Auditor DeZoglio, and everyone here, distinguished guests. This is, as you all know, my first State of the City address, and I so appreciate all of you being here. Thank you so much. Gracias a todos por estar aquí. I'd also like to thank my family, my wife, Catherine, my sons, Henry and Benjamin, and my parents, and they're working on bedtime right now, so thank you all so much to my family. I would also like to invite all of you to check out the North Shore Juneteenth event, which is happening right in our lobby immediately after this. That's honoring Black excellence in our community, and I will be headed to that immediately following, so encourage all of you to do the same. I want to also give a very special thank you to everybody who stepped up this weekend to help our residents who were displaced by the cold. And there's representatives from a lot of those folks here tonight, the Lynn Fire Department, the Lynn Police Department, the Lynn Housing Authority, Cataldo Ambulance, Public Health, Inspectional Services Department, our school custodians, in particular, the entire Lynn Public Schools team, the City Council, when we were active, our city solicitor as well, the Lynn Public Library, the Red Cross and Salvation Army, concerned citizens of Lynn and North Shore Shabbat, and the Lynn Shelter Association. I'm glad that the timing of this speech allows me to publicly thank you for stepping up this weekend without hesitation to help our residents in need. Now for the state of the city, I would say that the state of our city is strong. And the future of our city is bright. And both of those statements are true because of the strength of our people here in the city of Lynn. They're true even in the face of the many challenges that we know we face. They are true because we here in the city of Lynn are 14 square miles teeming with the determination of our people to overcome those challenges. Every day when I walk into my office, I see the more than 50 flags representing the countries of origin of the students of the Lynn Public Schools. I'm reminded that there are people here from all over the world counting their blessings that they were able to overcome so much to finally make it here. And they are counting on us to be there for them as new challenges await. From Red Rock on Lynn Shore Drive, beating back the Atlantic, to the expanse of forest reaching for the skies in Lynn Woods, we are fortified by nature to address those challenges. And foremost among those challenges is making sure that this city feels like the precious gem that it is for all of us. Regardless of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or creed. We took a meaningful step forward in the effort to make the city work for all of us with the City Council to adopt inclusionary zoning for the city, setting aside homes and new developments that Lynn residents can afford. We doubled down on that effort by creating and funding an affordable housing trust fund to reach even further in addressing the need. We have projects in motion that will continue to push, from veterans housing at the Lynn Armory to senior housing at the former Marshall Middle School site and the former Union Hospital site, to the conversion of an out-of-date rooming house into suitable living arrangements at the Hennessy House in our downtown. And while we create all these opportunities for new housing that's affordable, we won't forget the need to address the old housing stock and the needs of our existing residents. We'll fund improvements, help protect renters, and fight the scourge of unsafe and substandard living conditions. The need to address our cost of living is clear, and we now have the means to do so. 2023 will require the diligence, focus, determination, and collaboration that's necessary for implementation. The best long-term strategy to help people afford the cost of living is to help people find good-paying jobs. We are enveloped by one of the most dynamic job-creating ecosystems in the world in Greater Boston's innovation economy. We're working hard to plug Lynn into that growth. Our zoning overhaul last year helped prime several sites for commercial and industrial growth. We've made inroads in the life sciences development community with our developer tour and platinum readiness designation from that industry. And we're keeping the momentum going with a major event on March 8th with our Northeastern University partner, BioConnects New England, a coalition seeking to open life sciences growth to populations historically excluded from the industry. The summit is going to help connect dozens of local leaders with biotechnology companies to discuss next steps. All of this planning and recruitment is exciting, but we need to be clear-eyed of our expectations. That major investments take time and are subject to the fluctuations of whatever industry is growing or not growing, as the case may be. That's why in this work, we can't just think about what properties might take off. We have to focus on our own people. If we're successful with workforce development, our residents benefit no matter when the investments finally come to Lynn, because those jobs exist in the region already. Not to mention that our large and ambitious workforce is a big part of what will ultimately attract employers when the investment is ready. Last year around this time, we submitted a grant application to do a workforce development plan. And that plan is convening government, business, education, labor leaders, and it's expected to be finished later this year. The group has already identified priority industries: manufacturing, construction, education, healthcare, life sciences, technology, and clean energy. Once we have the plan, we then have to implement the plan, and that all takes time. But I want to point out that as a city, we're showing that we can not only write good plans, we can actually make them come to fruition. And that's a testament to our ability to work together. The council, city personnel, community leaders. It took a couple years to write the housing production plan. And it took a full year for our administration to be ready to implement inclusionary zoning. But we did it. And that gives me real optimism that we can keep coalescing around good ideas that will help our residents and actually implement them by working collaboratively. We're also working to make sure that the major growth that's happening in Lynn is a win for everyone. Future inhabitants of the site, the city, the developer doing the project, the neighborhood, the workers doing the construction. We start from the premise that we're a city that supports workers. Our streamlined development process includes participation by the chair of the Wage Theft Committee to proactively help ensure the observance of workers' rights. Any conversation that we have about the future has to be based on our schools. I want to thank Dr. Patrick Tutwiler for his service to Lynn and now the Commonwealth, as well as Superintendent Ruggiero for leading us this year. We're excited to welcome our next superintendent, Dr. Yvonne Alvarez, and I can tell you that this city can't wait to work with her. If you know our schools, you know that great work happens here in Lynn in spaces, in facilities that are lacking. They're lacking room, lacking educational components, and lacking needed capital investments. We're going to continue our full court press to address this. The Lynn Public Schools has had a lot of success reducing elementary class sizes down to the low 20s. That's been the result of a lot of hard work and sacrifice by our educators. And we recognize that, and that's why we're working on a facilities master plan for the elementary level. What we've learned so far is that if every elementary school had the educational spaces that you'd expect, we'd need additional classroom space for more than 600 students. In other words, as it is, we're short by the equivalent of an entire elementary school. We have to continue the full court press that we've started on that. We have lots of work to do at the secondary level as well. We're making progress. We opened the Frederick Douglass Collegiate Academy at North Shore Community College's campus, which is really a pioneering approach to giving LPS students the college experience at no cost to them and building on one of the most successful early college programs in the state. We're adding modular classrooms at every level, and we hope to add a new Pickering Middle School by 2026. But really tackling this issue will require help from the state to reform how school construction is financed. And we're working really hard to drive that issue on Beacon Hill with the leadership of our state delegation. And in the months to come, we'll need all of you, we'll need help from the entire city to support them in that work. Another area of growth in 2023 will be pre-K. Some of the work we're doing to find space is going to create much needed pre-K classrooms. We're also thinking about our pre-K approach in general as a community. Only 1 in 4 Lynn children is enrolled in a pre-K program. Statewide, almost 2/3 of children are enrolled. This is a glaring disparity that clearly affects our students' learning trajectory and one that we want to take on. And if we're going to be successful, we'll need to partner across sectors. Public schools, private schools, nonprofit agencies, home-based centers. Through the Commonwealth Preschool Partnership Initiative, Lynn Public Schools has been successful in getting a grant to open another 4 pre-K classrooms with a nonprofit partner, Greg House. We're going to continue to be creative and aggressive in finding space, supporting quality across the board, and emphasizing inclusion, particularly for pre-K students with disabilities. Mapping out the future requires a plan for how all of this should come together. That plan needs to be developed with community input at every step. That's the goal for Vision Lynn, the city's comprehensive plan, which should be ready this summer. Vision Lynn has already identified 3 vision statements. 1, Lynn will be a city where people feel safe and comfortable to live, work, learn, and play. 2, Lynn will be a city where all community members have the housing, transportation access, social connections, and educational and economic opportunities to live a fulfilling life. And 3, Lynn will be a city to be proud of, with strong, diverse, and connected communities that take care of our shared spaces, natural resources, and each other. Vision Lynn will help us grow thoughtfully. Growth needs to help us solve problems, not create additional ones. So we need to be deliberate about traffic. And that's why we're investing hundreds of thousands of dollars to improve traffic signals, addressing the impact of increased traffic to cannabis stores with the city's cannabis funds, including dangerous intersections such as South and Summer, along Western Ave and Chestnut Street, and more. We're also addressing traffic by redoing major roadways with state and federal funds. From Blossom Street to Linfield Street, major arteries like Western Ave and Essex Street, we're tracking more than $100 million of state and federal funds to fix our roads. We're also using $16 million of ARPA funds to overhaul major parks throughout the city to give people suitable places to stay healthy in mind and body. We'll be seeking community input on design ideas for Kiley, Keeney, Linwoods, Gallagher, Breed, and McManus Field in the coming weeks. That will complement other park projects that are in process, like the planned waterfront park on the Linway, pickleball courts at Clark Park, and the coming rehabilitation of the fountain on Lynn Commons. Some parks are going to be redone. All of them will be cleaner. We bought more than 30 compacting trash bins to help the DPW and residents help us keep those parks clean. Our equipment fleet is being upgraded as well. We have new heavy trucks for the DPW, new engines and pumpers for the fire department, new cruisers for the police, and a new van for public health. These are smart fiscal investments to support the essential services that the city provides. Our state delegation is pushing for transit infrastructure, and we are closer than we have been in years to the ferry getting reestablished. Our state delegation we've created a plan to clean up Kings Beach, working with a coalition of stakeholders in the region and across different levels of government and sectors, and we're now working to identify ways to fund it. We're tackling projects to address climate change. We realize that our position on the water is both a blessing and a challenge to deal with rising sea levels and flooding. And we're doing that through mitigation projects like the one we have going at Berry Park. We also know that the city's infrastructure must keep pace with the need for change, which is why we're working with the state to bring electric vehicle charging stations to the city of Lynn. These projects are going to take time, and we want to keep residents informed. A digital infrastructure project that will come to fruition this year will help us do just that. A new city website will do justice to the importance of our work and our residents' and businesses' ability to access it. Our hopes for the future depend on Lynn being a place where people feel safe and where they feel like they belong. And that's not a given. It's something that we have to work for. We've made major strides in creating an independent unarmed crisis response team, an idea put forward by the Lynn Racial Justice Coalition to address mental health needs in the city and systemic racism. We should be ready to launch an initial version of this team later this year. Our partnership with Elliott Community Health will allow us to launch a truly pioneering effort that will push to hold accountable to our goals of racial justice and cultural competency. We continue to work to support the recovery community and tackle the opioid crisis. Our opioid working group, which we're soon launching, will help direct our efforts in allocating meaningful state funds that we've received to support that work. Every day and night, the Lynn Police Department is out working to keep us safe. To keep us safe from fentanyl, to keep us safe from illegal guns, to keep us safe from any number of threats. They're also working to build connections in the community through amazing programs like the Safe and Successful Youth Initiative and the Central Business District Bike Unit, as well as their own skill set and capabilities through trainings and partnerships such as the Behavioral Health Intervention Program. The police department has also successfully hired a new analyst through a grant that will help us track and plan how that work is going in the coming year. Our safety is also the mission of the Lynn Fire Department. The new year coincided with a new leader there. I'm very grateful for Chief Arthur's many years of service and excited to work with Chief Sullivan and the whole Lynn Fire Department on their next chapter of keeping us safe. A feeling of belonging requires being seen and being heard. And that's one of the reasons why language access is so important to our administration. We've been thrilled to hire a new language access coordinator who's going to guide us through that hard but necessary transition to City Hall becoming a building that truly serves the multilingual society that we are. The initiatives that I've highlighted tonight represent an ambitious agenda for positive change. For it to actually improve the lives of our residents, that change needs to be lasting. It needs to be sustainable. And that's why it's so important that throughout this work, we uphold our commitment to fiscal discipline. I also want to recognize that providing excellent services to our residents is paramount in everything. I'm here because the people elected me to do a job. And every resident has needs that they rely on the city for. We need to deliver in those moments to fulfill our obligations, recognize when we fall short, and think about how to do better. That is truly a team effort from everyone that works for the city. And I'm so grateful for all that you do every day. Some of you may know that I wrestled in high school and college. And I know that Council President Walsh can attest, because he stopped by last summer, I still wrestle at my annual beach wrestling tournament. I can say that nothing marks the passage of time for me like the increased time it takes for me to recover from that event every year. Being mayor can honestly sometimes feel like one of the most challenging parts of wrestling when it's just you out there. Like right now, when I'm up here at this podium, there's nobody coming to save me. But one of the things that I love about wrestling is that while it might look like you're by yourself out there, you know your team is really out there with you. They're the ones who pushed you all week to prepare, who pick you up after the match, who drive you to be the best you can be. I can tell you that we have a great team here in the city of Lynn. My staff in the mayor's office, everybody that works for the city, who serves on our boards and commissions, fellow elected officials, anyone who cares about this community and our future together and wants to be a part of the work to shape it. Thank you to all of you for a strong and successful first year together. Let's have another one in 2023.